yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab. Go create your move. I got a crib by the water. Say me casa, su casa. It feel like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib.
What's good, everybody? It's 99 miles per hour with Percy Garner. And today, I'm pretty excited about today. We got a former teammate of mine, but probably not in the sport that you're thinking that he was my teammate in. Far more athletic person than I am. But before we get into introducing our guests, I just want to remind you guys, check out the Discord. The link will be in the description. And also, if you're new here, appreciate it if you would just subscribe, like. Usually I forget to say that at the beginning of the video, but I didn't this time, so you might as well just hit it. Also, today's sponsor is Builder Bros Construction, and they got a pretty good promo coming up, and you'll see that later in the episode. But, also, if you want to check out some merch, make sure you go to the website, percygarner.com. That's PERCIGARNER.com. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. So today, we got somebody who, I will say, when I first saw this dude, I thought, okay, he looks like an action figure. He can't be good at football. You know what I'm saying? He can't be good. I don't want to, I got a wife. We all know what type of person I am. I'm just saying, he looked good in a football uniform. And I had to make sure that he was really about it. But when I got to know this dude at Ball State, we just had so much fun. And then, obviously he was a great football player. We'll get into that as well. But I love to see what he's doing, post-football career. I don't think he's not ever had anything other than a six-pack. And you're going to find out once we get into it why that is. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get to our guest today, Charlie Todd. How we doing, Charlie?
Man, what's going on first, man? It's been a minute.
It has been. And the thing that comes to my mind is, I don't know if you remember this, but, Charlie Wilson. Every time. Now, obviously, we can't play it. We can't play the song because of copyright issues. But it's just like I wish people could go back and see how much fun we used to have in Muncie, Indiana. But maybe we can help them out a little bit and try to remind them. But I'm having you on here just because obviously we like to focus on sports on this podcast. We also like to, have some fun, but we try to educate and learn as much as possible. And I always like to play like I know everything and that the information is just for the audience. But we all know if you knew how much I weighed and how my eating habits were and how my exercise habits were, I need this just as much as the next person. So,
yeah, man.
But before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to make sure, I kind of want to just get some like current events out the way and just see what you're doing now, because I'm sure you've done a lot of different things with your diet and workout plan. But, just what is your current meal plan or workout routine, whatever you want to share with us. If there's one that you're doing that's new, just let us know.
So I started, I've always done a balanced diet almost literally my entire life. Like that's what you knew to do. So it's been consistent. Then I tried vegan, didn't like it. I tried pescatarian. I just had to eat too much. And then I came across, let me stop there for real quickly. Because I'm in the profession of training and coaching people, I always try the diets first and then go from there. Like I always work it. So I'm not giving people advice off of things that I haven't experienced. You can study all you want and you can find out the small, fine details of, this works, but it's nothing like the actual experience of it yourself. So I always try them myself before I recommend them. And I came across this carnivore diet. It was blowing up like crazy. I'm like, you know what? My brother actually brought it up to me, who's also my business partner. He brought it up to me. It was like, and he tried it for half a second, but he didn't really stay consistent with it at the time. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try it. And I started doing it, started documenting it, and started like just loving the results from there. So from there, keep in mind, I've always liked fruit. So it was like okay, I'm about to start adding fruit, and come to find out obviously that's its own thing too as well. So the meat and fruit diet is what I currently do. And it's just a branch off from carnivore. It's a branch, you can call it a branch off from keto too as well. So, but it's real simple to follow. Eat twice a day now. I guess you can consider it intermittent fasting. And it's just easy. Keeps me lean, keeps me energized, and it's probably hands down the best diet that I've ever tried. And I always recommend it with people just for several reasons. One, a good diet is going to reveal what you're supposed to look like, and a good diet and workout regimen is going to take it to the next level. So with that said, I've always, like I said, in the past, I've done a balanced diet. And with those cravings, your cravings jump up and down, and you start to experiment and look left and right and try certain things, and it kind of has your body going like this. So for example, I would fluctuate from, at the time on the balanced diet, I would fluctuate anywhere from 192, I'm 5'10", by the way, 192 to probably like 205, like that wide, depending on how strict I was on the diet. Now I'm right around the 195 to 200 fluctuation. So, which is like ideal for me. Like I don't want to have to jump. By the time I get to 205, I'm like, okay, man, all right, let me reel it back in. And now I got to eat super lean, can't eat the carbs, can't do all of this. Now I eat fattier meat paws, eat fattier steaks, and it just ends up, it kills any craving that I have, and it like I said, it works. So I stick with it.
That's what's up. I mean, I appreciate you sharing. I know I've tried different things in my short time of trying to eat healthy. But everybody knows on this channel, I have a weakness, because I do intermittent fasting. I've had strict meal plans where I've just eaten chicken, broccoli, and rice every meal. And I can do that. I can do that twice a day forever and be okay. But it's just the stuff that happens in between that,
Sure.
I think I could be healthy if Hershey's didn't create I think they make Reese cups. If they didn't make Reese cups, I would be good.
I'm with you on that.
But we all have weaknesses, and we need to just make sure that, we kind of put it, we're aware of those, and then we are smart about it. But, I always go into Rite Aid, CVS, Speedway, and they always got the holiday ones sitting up there right when you're checking out, and I always grab one. And then they're always like, well, you can get one more for $1, and then I grab another one. So I struggle on that, but I appreciate you sharing. And it's pretty important, obviously, that
Big time.
It's something that we focus on in our lives. I think people are more aware now, but then there's also ideas that are out there saying that, being obese is okay, it's healthy, and it is crazy. It is crazy because I know I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm at 270. Now, if you remember me at Ball State. If you remember at Ball State, I was at, 220. So it's a big difference. But the one thing I do remember is when I did make my debut with the Indians, I was about 240, and I felt big at that time. But now I'm like, man, I wish I was that size now. But no, I just I guess I should also let everyone know, like, you played defensive back. You were a cornerback. So you're, fast. You also were special teams return guy, which we might get into. If we got enough time, I might ask you about if you know anything about the new rules that's going on, or are they trying to get rid of kickoff and stuff like that. But
we can get into that.
Okay. But for the main thing, I just want to make sure we touch on, obviously what we've already alluded to, getting on a healthy diet and exercise and stuff like that. But also, you're a content creator yourself, and you've been doing it for a long time. I didn't realize this until once I booked you for this interview, I was like, wow. Yeah, I started scrolling. I'm like, dang, this man been doing it for a minute. And I love that because I know this content creation game it's about longevity. It's about consistency, which I struggle with the consistency part. But, but I kind of want to, focus on, the content creation you have. It's obviously flooded. There's a lot of people out there making content on exercise and meal plans and stuff like that. But then I also kind of want to talk about, just because I know for a fact, you mentioned your brother, but for me, I get on these plans and I just don't sustain it. So not only do I have consistency issues with content, but also with meal plans and workout plans. So I kind of want to, talk about those two things. But I got one more question. I think, I'm trying to word this the best way possible. But when you look at someone like yourself, who's always been in shape, you were an athlete at a Division I college. So obviously you had meals for you. You had a top tier workout plan at the time, to our knowledge. I'm sure that, you're going to enlighten us on, total resistance and where that's about, because I kind of want to dive in that too a little bit as well. But just how have you maintained motivation to keep doing that? Because I know I told my wife after I retire that, I'm going to take about 2 months off and then I'll get back into it. And then, 2 months turned into 2 years, 2 years turned into 4 years. So how do you maintain motivation to keep going?
So it's really not a motivation. It's more so just having discipline and understanding like where I want to be in life. Like, so even like at a young age, like I've always admired like people who were fit and just like, so my brother, like I talked about my brother, again, my brother, he's only a year older than me, but he was like 4 grades ahead of me. So my brother was like crazy strong. Like to this day, I've never met anybody. He's not like that anymore, but he used to be like just crazy. Like he was a 2-time All-Stater in football, and he was just crazy. By his sophomore year, he was repping out 315. Like I've never seen nothing like this on the bench. So that was one thing. So I'm always trying to keep up, trying to chase that. Being that is like as a relative in the same house as me. But then on top of that, I've always envisioned myself being like that old 70-year-old running miles, you know what I mean? Like you see him on the side like that dude looks good at his age. So I've always wanted, like, even like the Terry Crews 50 years old, The Rock, almost 50. Like these dudes are older, but they just, it's the fountain of youth. So I've always just visioned myself being that. And then on top of that, like you said as well, like just having a 6-pack, man, there's nothing like it. It sounds like it's a vain and cocky type of thing, but it's really not. It's like there's no better outfit than having your shirt off. Like if you look the part, then it's like it's a great feeling, and there's nothing better than looking in the mirror and loving what you see. So when I started to lose, I started to lose it for a second after football, for half a second, because I was still in the gym though, but I just was eating the same way I was when I was 25. So by 25, that metabolism kicked in like crazy, and I had to like reel it back in. So that's what made me really start taking my diet more and more and more serious. But you kind of touched on sustainable, finding a sustainable diet. So one thing I've always done, this is like just literally since probably 25, I switched to doing something called 6-in-1, which is, it's not like a miraculous revelation. It's just 6 days I'm doing what I'm supposed to do when it comes down to following the diet. And then one day I have a cheat day. That's one thing that people fail to realize, like how important cheat days can be in your life. Because if you're not doing something you're doing something that restricts you forever and there is no end date to it, you're going to stick to it. And then that one day you're going to end up binge eating, and it's going to be hard to bounce back to it. So I give myself, just like work, like if you work a 9 to 5, you're working those 5 days out the week, and then you enjoy the weekend. It's no different than that. Like I work hard when it comes out of the gym and eating and doing the proper things that I'm supposed to do. And I stick to it. Sometimes I fall off, but at the same time, I know these days are designated for me to follow consistently. So I do it. And then that one cheat day, it's already planned out. Like it's funny, me and my wife be like, we plan out the cheat days now. Like, so we go out to restaurants, whether she cook, whether we go out to eat, whether we do whatever it may be, pizza, that day I'm designating to it. Like, once again, there's times my weekend turns into a cheat weekend, but I know on Monday I gotta bounce back. Like, I gotta snap it back, and it works. Like this, it's a simple way to follow 6-in-1. Our whole gym does it. Our whole gym is getting results from it, and it's an easy way for me to tell if someone's actually doing it or not. If they're not seeing the results that they set for themselves, especially when you're following a regimen such as like the meat and fruit diet. I know if you're not losing weight doing it, or really like getting to the point where you're satisfied with the way you look and the weight that you want to be at, you're not following it. So that's what it is. It's more of a discipline thing than it is a motivation thing. Because like I said, it's not everyone likes going to the gym and working out. Me, myself, I'm not that person. I actually do like and enjoy lifting weights. I've always been like that. So it's like that's just a blessing in disguise that's just something that I enjoy doing. It's like and it's more so, not to get too long-winded, but it's more so for everything that comes with it. Obviously, the imagery of lifting is great. Like that's common sense. But like when I went through tough times, man, rough times, and I'll use an example, high school, I failed off. I don't tell too many people this stuff, but I failed off my sophomore year of high school, and I buried myself in the gym, and that relieves pressure, that relieves anxiety, that relieves everything. And then literally anytime things between reading the word and lifting weights, like I stay calm and collected like no other. Like anything that I'm going through, whether it be a financial hiccup, whether it be mental breakdown, something going on in the family, I dive in the gym, I dive in the word, and it just works out for me. So like I said, that consistency of eating right and it becomes a routine. It becomes a routine to the point that if I don't follow this routine, I'm uncomfortable to the point that I gotta revolt back to it. And I use sports for example. So use Ball State. At Ball State, I had a very, when I say to the T routine, like it was ridiculous. It was like OCD. I sat at the same seat on the bus, whether it was away or home. I sat in the exact same seat. I listened to the exact same music. I watched the exact same highlights. I would watch Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, and Darrell Revis. I would watch them like clockwork. Same time. I realized how far we are from the stadium. I'm watching these highlights. I'm going to the gym, walk down the little tunnel. How we would do, walk down the little thing while I'm greeting the people. I'm listening to gospel music the entire time. We get into the gym. I turn on my R&B music. From R&B music, by the time we get on the field, and hold on, before we even get to the field, I would put my socks on left to right, pants on left to right. I'm walking out on the stadium, put my my hype music, my rap music on, turned up on the field. By the time I was ready for the game, man, nobody was stopping me. That was my mindset. So it's funny that I can still remember it to this day. My routine for that to prepare for one game was so like OCD out of like just crazy.
Yeah.
But why isn't that like the same for working out? Why isn't it the same for us going to church? Why isn't it the same for us doing anything in day to day? So you have to, the same thing that you especially after sport, the same things that you did to keep you consistent and ready for a game in a sport, you got to find a way to apply that to your everyday life. Because I'm sure I use you for example. Baseball, you ain't just going out there throwing it 90 miles an hour. You got to warm up. You got to throw the ball a couple times. I'm sure you got band drills that you're doing stuff before you even touch the baseball.
Yeah.
Why isn't that version of your preparation to eat right, have a great successful week of dieting and working out and doing all that, the same way applied to how you would approach sports? Why isn't it the exact same way? And that's what I had to like dive in and realize, like I'm getting it together. So like I said, after 25, that metabolism kick in. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out, or accept body positivity.
Yeah.
So it's either one or the other.
I'm Percy Garner, and I'm here to tell you that Builder Bros Construction is here to spread joy and warmth beyond the traditional holiday season. This July, they are offering a free roof to a deserving individual who is nominated by someone who recognizes their time of need. If you head to builderbros.org, you can register that deserving individual right now. Good luck, and thank you to Builder Bros Construction for bringing a touch of magic to someone's home this summer. You touched on a couple points that at the time I was like, ooh, yeah, like, because in my mind, that's triggering, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's triggering something. I want to speak on it. But the last thing that you touched on that really kind of just threw everything else out the window was, why don't athletes? Because there's not many athletes that I know that continue the same regimen, or they continue to look great, like they can go out and play 5, 10, 15 years later. And, it's not like you're incredibly old that long after college, but I kind of asked myself that, and I'm like, dang, I might have to think on this, because I was just about to say, I thought baseball players were the ones that are overly superstitious, but after hearing you explain that, because, I didn't know, I was in my own world anyway, but I didn't know that's how you were when you were competing and getting ready. And it's just funny because I was same thing. I still do the left before the right. Everything.
Telling you, man, it's like little things that carry over.
Yeah,
that's in sports in general. Like
true.
We don't realize how. Like that's why I say even my kids, like even if whether they're great or not in sports, they're playing sports because of the things that you learn from sports, man. It carries over to life if you let it.
Yeah.
If you let it, but if you go in there with the mindset, man, I got to make it to the league. That's the only reason I'm playing. You probably lose that. That's a plus. Like you making it to the Indians, that was a plus. But the things that you learned in leading up to getting a scholarship to Ball State, to being able to do all the things that you do, learning with your teammates, having that inner like understanding that you on the mound, yeah, you control whether somebody hitting the ball to me. But at the end of the day, like I need you to be successful, for me to be successful. Hopefully, you know what I mean, things fall. And you don't learn like that connection and understanding of teamwork and understanding of like you know what I mean, just the work environment. You learn all that through sports just because you're building relationships around people, but people don't take it that way. They kids today are playing sports because they only, like I said, there's nothing wrong with striving to make it to the league. That was my goal at the end of the day. But I learned so much in sports, man, that it changed my life. Unfortunately, that my parents had me in a position where I could play year round, and like I said, and learn the things that come from sports to be the person that I am today. So,
I mean, that's dope. I mean, most people, I would say when I talk to certain people, I hear, hey, my son's pretty decent at sports, but it just seems like he's, I want him hanging with his friends and he's out trying to shoot hoops or he's out working on stuff. And I'm like, leave that kid alone. Let him do that. let him do that. But I get what they're also saying, because especially if the parents weren't athletes themselves, obviously it's different. We were athletes. So if we have kids, like my daughter's really into basketball and she's, in the basement counting down 3, 2, 1, and the crowd goes wild when she shoots. And I'm just like, I love that. And she's always wanting to be active and, do all that. And I'm like, this is dope. But I can see parents who maybe didn't have that background might be like, oh, hey, this is odd. I don't think this doesn't seem healthy. But I think when you can have something at a young age that you can kind of latch onto, and it helps you to learn a routine, it helps you to learn discipline, it helps you to learn so many things that sports have taught us. I think there could be some negatives, but I learned from mine. Like, I had some anxiety once I got to the pro level, and probably in practice at Ball State too, just because the competition was so much at a different level. And, having the high standards that Coach P had, I was just like, oh man, and Nate in front of me. But I looked at all those things and their learning opportunities. I know I didn't perform the best way I wanted to while I was playing football, but then I kind of took that over to baseball, and I'm like, it ain't gonna happen again.
It's gonna happen here. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen here.
Yeah, so I took all those lessons and kind of applied it to life, and I think that's the next step, is for me to finally kind of kick that into my real life with my health, because I just had a procedure done. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but because of family history, I had to have it. And I felt like good about it. Like, okay, I'm taking my health serious. I'm doing this. This is something that needed to happen, and I'm glad I did it. Now I need to do something else. I mean, especially when the Indians told me, hey, if you lose 5 pounds, that's 1,000 pounds of pressure off of your leg that I had my meniscus torn in every pitch. And I was like, dang. So I'm like, man, I really got to lose this weight. So, and also I just want to be active and be able to be active when my kids are, high school, after, and grandkids, of course. I don't want to be laid up. So it's just something that you got to do, and you got to take care of your body. And, it's just good that you have someone like you making content and sharing, what you're doing, and just also like at your gyms and stuff. What I see, what you're putting on social media, it just seems like a good culture, and it's not, hey, everybody's got to, break records and do all this. It's like, no, we tailor stuff to you, and you always are trying to just get better for each client that you have. And I think that's important, that we always have to have goals. And, I'm excited. I always set these goals. I'm like, all right, I want to be this body fat. I want to be at this weight. And, some of it might not be realistic, which is why I haven't, which I haven't completed them. But before I kind of go into, because
I can touch on that if you want to.
Okay. Like, what, like body fat?
Yeah, no, just a way to simplify and make that, so say, for example, everyone does that. So this is why a lot of people lose motivation in the gym, because they start off with motivation and have no plan for that motivation once they get acclimated, going to the gym, get ready, and making it a consistent thing. So the first thing, all you really have to do is, the big goal, the goal. So say, for example, let's use you. You want to lose, let's say, 50 pounds. You write it down, put that to the side, leave it alone, let that stay there. That's common sense. You want to lose 50 pounds. Now, once you get into the gym, one, go somewhere, or make sure you're doing a program that is consistent with the goals that you set for yourself. But two, keep in mind that goal that you set for yourself, leave that over there because that may take longer than scheduled or than planned because you don't know how long it's going to take. But that doesn't matter. How long it takes doesn't matter. What matters is I'm moving forward to get to that goal. So you have to set goals within the goal. Meaning, so the first day I walk into the gym, let's say I do chest, let's say I do bench press. First day I only do 10 on each side of the bars, and I was struggling to do it. That's your first goal. Your first goal is to get past those 10s consistently, consecutively. From there, so every time you get, it's common sense. If you're getting stronger, common sense, you're moving the needle to that thread to get closer to that goal. So say, for example, and as long as you're eating right now, obviously that's common sense. But that's what's going to help you move that needle closer and closer and closer without thinking about that long-term goal. Because here's what happens with people. They'll have that big goal of losing whatever amount of weight that they set for themselves. So, and here's what they do. They either do one or two things. They get there fast and then lose motivation, start taking their foot off the gas, slowly but surely, they stop going to the gym again. That 50 pounds comes right back, and it's harder to lose it the second time around. Or vice versa, what happened is that 50 pounds, that goal, they so focused on it, and it's taking forever to get there. They only lost 1-2 pounds within a 2-week span. And what happens is, same exact thing. That foot starts to go off the gas, less and less and less and less. And what ends up happening is they're both in the same boat because they went for the wrong reason. If you're going for just to lose weight and just the appearance part of things, the motivation is going to go away. The purpose of working out and eating right is to change your lifestyle, to make your lifestyle change, energy better, like you said, be able to run with your kids, do certain things of that nature. Those are all the important part. The body appearance, like I said, which a good diet and workout regimen is going to reveal and take it to the next level. But at the end of the day, the whole point is a lifestyle change. Once you change your lifestyle, every single thing will fall in line. A lot of people don't understand, like, you spent 20, 30 years of eating garbage and not caring about what you eat. Why are you putting on a time frame to lose weight that you put on for 20 years? This is a lifestyle change. You've been doing this now, or I should say you've been doing this, now it's time to do this. You've been on a decline, now it's time to increase. As you age, get better, get better, get better, and every day you're taking a step in the right direction. You'll feel better, start to look better, start feeling yourself. Don't get too excited about the weight loss that you end up doing. Get excited about the change that you're doing, and the 50 pounds is going to happen.
That's true. I would say I'm definitely guilty of that because I listen to Mind Pump podcasts and I got on the workout regimen and I was like, okay, they say you're supposed to lose, 10% of your body weight, every week or whatever. So for me, that works out to be around 2.5 pounds. So I'm like, all right, I should be able to lose 2.5 pounds per week if I do what I need to do. And then I'll be on track. I might lose over 2 weeks. I might lose, 4 or 5 pounds. And then a holiday comes up and then it's a struggle. And then some of that weight gets back on. And then I'm like, I'm back where I started. And then you kind of lose the motivation if you're looking like, hey, I want to look good for my wife,
Yeah.
There's got to be, that's a good motivation, but there's got to be more than one thing that's keeping you going. Cause sometimes she might make you mad. You might not want to look good for her. But no, I want to kind of touch on, your content creation, how that journey's been going for you. And before we close out, I want to touch on the content, but then I also got some questions that, I went through because I went through, I think it was on Ball State's website where they did like a piece on you and they asked you certain questions about certain things. So I got some here that I want to, I got some that I want to look at it. But before, just go into what made you want to make content and how's that journey been for you?
It started with like just a highlight reel. So I had to make my own highlight reel with the help of my coach. I made my own highlight reel in high school to get to a college, like because my grade, like I said, I don't think we got time to go into that. I'll be a little while. But my grades, to sum it up, my grades wasn't that great in high school. I missed a lot of opportunities because I did not take school serious until it was too late. So what I had to do was go to a junior college. So I had to make my own highlight tape to get it to the junior colleges to be able to get my scholarship to Ball State. So I went to junior college for 2 years. those 2 years, balled out, did what I had to do, made my highlights for that, and obviously I made it appealing. And at this time, you got to think this wasn't like how it is today. We wasn't using Instagram. I think Instagram, Facebook was actually just getting kind of started during this time.
Yep.
I'm telling my age, but it is what it is. So Facebook was kind of booming at that time. So it wasn't like just post your highlight and get a scholarship off a highlight by just posting on your website with likes. I had to upload my highlights to YouTube, send them to coaches one by one, like by email. That's at this time, emails for coaches was easy to access at that time, fortunately. So I sent it to, when I say I sent it one by one to almost every team in the country that I felt like I could go to, because I had lower level scholarships. I had a scholarship to Hofstra, I had a scholarship to Stony Brook. I just was like, man, I know I'm bigger than this, so I'm trying to get D1. D1 was the goal. So from there, I'm every week I'm chopping up these highlights, and sending them out. And I saw how impactful that was. So I just never stopped. And I started doing my friends' highlights. Once I did my friends' highlights, I went from I'm kind of good at this videography stuff and all of that too. And it just kind of transitioned over to, if highlights work then, like I said, the same thing that that routine, if highlights work then, it's got to work now. So it went from doing it on a scale of, okay, this worked in football, it's got to work in business. So let's just do it now. And then I turned it in from doing that. And obviously I do family stuff here and there too. But yeah, it's just like, now it's kind of a part of my the way I brand myself and push out anything that I'm trying to push.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. The reel I think you had with your son where you was talking about cheating and he said, "Mama," that was hilarious. But you've had a lot of, for me, it would be a lot. You've had a decent amount of reels and stuff go viral, and I was looking through some of your stuff. I'm like, dang, Charlie out here doing it. But no, I appreciate, and consuming content. Before I started making content, I was consuming a lot of it, and I was like, I want to do this, and I just was too afraid to do it. But it's encouraging to see someone like yourself. I didn't know you had that background and was making your own highlights. I wish I would have been doing that back in the day. But our film, you couldn't even see the football when I was throwing it. It was just so blurry. But but no, man, I feel like we're kind of rushing. I might have to have you back on here, but but I want to get to these questions real quick. So, all right. So I want to ask this one right here. Because if this article is called "Getting to Know Ball Stage Charlie Todd," and I think this is funny because obviously I play baseball, but besides, it was question number 7. It says, besides football, what sport would you have pursued for a college scholarship? And you said, if not football, I would have pursued a scholarship for baseball. I was all conference as a sophomore, but quit to concentrate on football. So, me being a baseball player, I was like, all right, I got to ask you about this. Was baseball a love? Did you start playing like coach pitch and that? And then you just decided once you got older to concentrate on football?
Yeah. So I played baseball before I played any organized sport. So we had our neighborhood had a baseball, well, a little outside of our neighborhood. Our neighborhood had a baseball team, and that was the start of my organized sports playing, like, period. So from there, like, I was actually, like, people don't believe me because, like, for some reason they did not they didn't record our games, so I have no proof of saying this. But keep in mind, I believe this too as well. Majority of my coaches that coached me in the past said I was a much better baseball player than I was a football player.
Really?
I believe that. No one believes me.
You believe that?
I know it. I know it.
Wow. Okay.
It's not even a question. So, because you got to think, man, like, stole bases all day, could hit the ball off of anybody. Like, there's a guy, I don't know if you might know him, dude named Rob Bryson.
I've heard that.
Rob Bryson.
Sounds familiar.
He played in the MLB for a little bit. I was the only one on my team that hit him. Like, everybody else was terrified. There's another dude. Like, it was just, baseball came so easy to me. Like, it was like I never practiced. Not during the season I practiced, but, like, I'm like, off season I was practicing playing football.
Got you.
I got off football, went right to baseball. It was nothing. Like, I think Little League, I was a pitcher. I played, so I wasn't hitting no 90s, but baseball was so I played shortstop, second base. I pitched. By the time high school came, pitching slowed down a little bit though. But
yeah.
baseball was just too. Real quick, I know we on time.
No, you good.
What I used to do, look, like I said, I tell this story to when I encountered when I used to train baseball players in the weight room. Well, I had the exact same thing every single time. I was a very routine player, so I would get a big lead. So I don't think you could pick me off, by the way. I would get a big lead on my first. As soon as I got on first base, I would get a real big lead, and it would have the pitcher antsy every time. It never failed, and I would act like I was about to run. And by the time I act like I was about to run, I would always run full speed back, and the pitcher would throw the ball every time. Like it worked like routine. And the dude was like, "You're not gonna steal." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not stealing." First base, every time, yeah, I'm not stealing. I'm not stealing this play. But watch he throw it over here. I would do it on top track. So I would do it. Make sure he throw the ball, and then I'd be standing on the base by the time he threw the ball, and then he pitch it. Probably throw a ball just because he's so worried about me.
Yep.
And then the next time, I would act like I was terrified. I would get a small lead, and the pitcher every time got comfortable every single time. So y'all can steal this, young bloods that's watching this thing. I would get a short lead, a real short lead. He would look back, and I would act like I was afraid. And I would every time I would go to the first baseman like, "Yo, I'm out." And then boom, as soon as he looked back, I would be standing up on the bag because he wasn't paying me no mind at all. I'm already on second base.
He said, "Yo, I'm out."
Never failed, and it was funny to me.
Oh man! All right, I love that response, by the way, and I love the little tips because baseball is a cat and mouse game. Whether it's the pitcher and the hitter or the pitcher and the base runner, it's always cat and mouse and different facets of baseball. Whether it's manager versus manager too. But one more I want to do is, back in the day, I think this is funny just because, obviously music changes and the artist you listen to changes.
Yeah.
And you said, R&B and gospel, that's what I listen to. Also, a former teammate of ours and the best player on our team back in the day was Dante Love. He listened to gospel too. But it says the artist that takes up most of your iPod shows the times. And the artist that takes up your iPod at the time, I think this was probably 2009, 2010, maybe. You want to see? Yeah, guess who it was?
You said, that's 2000.
I give you R&B is the hint.
It was either Tank or Jamie Foxx.
Nope, it was Ryan Leslie.
Or Les, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm like, now I think about it, I'm like, dang, where he been? But Tank's a good answer too, because those are all art. Like we obviously have similar tastes. But now, so who's taking up your iPod? Who's taking up the spot now?
iPhone now. It's between a couple of people. So it's a lot of gospel. So it'll be Todd Galbraith.
Okay.
Check him out. Michael Bethaney.
Okay.
Right now. This is more YouTube, but I listen on YouTube. Daryl Walls, he takes a lot of I listen to a lot of worship music. So
okay, that's what's up.
If I would say R&B right now, shoot, who am I listening to R&B right now?
I mean, it's probably good that you stick with the gospel.
But the gym alone, like we play a lot of rap, we play a lot of R&B. I listen to a lot of throwback more. So
yeah, I got you.
It's probably gonna be Usher throwback. Probably gonna be, believe it or not, he's probably the most underrated artist of all time. T-Pain.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going with The Dream. I was about to say The Dream was mine in college.
In college he was big. He was big in college.
But yeah, T-Pain is, because most people don't think he can actually sing. Now they're finding out that, he wasn't using that because he couldn't sing. He was just using it for his own type of style. But when you hear him without it, you're like, oh, he can sing. Like,
so I listen, there's a lot of throwback. D'Angelo. Usher,
of course, yes.
Throwback, C Breezy.
Yep. I was into Genuine too, had a little Genuine stage, and I'm talking about the later Genuine too. Obviously, everybody listened to him back in the day, but later Genuine was dope too. But that's awesome. I always like to hear, certain things about, our guests, and sometimes we get too focused on the main point. So I'm glad we got some of them questions in there. I don't know how I found that. I think I was just Googling your name before the episode, and I was just like, let me see some stuff. But no, we're definitely going to have you back on. And, you know, because I love what you're doing. I love the content you're making. You know, it's bettering people's lives. And that's kind of what I do right now with my main job. So it really hits home with that. But I appreciate you coming by virtually. And, you know, I'm glad we got this done. But yeah, we'll definitely have you back. I think this is episode 103. So,
congrats on that.
Yeah, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. And,
yeah, that's major.
You know, this will be what I try to do at the end is, you know, we try to premiere these videos on YouTube. So then I'll be kind of in the chat. So if anybody is watching and saying something, you know,
answer anything.
Yep. So I try to have fun as much as the best way I can. And I love making content. I love doing video stuff with the cameras and stuff. So I'm glad you're on that same boat too. As you can see, you know, your camera looking spiffy over there. So, but no, again, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody listening at home. Hopefully you liked and subscribed. We got tons of, you know, other podcast episodes. You check the playlist that pops up right after this. You can find all those episodes. We got local guests from where I'm from. And then now I'm expanding and talking to people outside of my hometown and my home county. And we're trying to get some different perspectives. So Charlie, appreciate it. Make sure you check out Charlie's content that he's making. I'll be posting his Instagram and his YouTube down in the description as well. Check that out. He's making great content, and it's helping people. So, I mean, what more can you ask? So, but Charlie, it was great having you, man.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
All right, y'all. For sure. Always. But without further ado, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.
I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny. I like that Corona. I love her smell. Inhale the